Being abandoned sucks. But every once in a while and every now and again, being abandoned is better than the alternative. It took me years to realize, actually this year to be exact, that one of the greatest gifts that some of my family gave me was the gift of abandonment. Welcome to the LadySpeech experience. It's your favorite goddess king. It's your favorite pirate captain. It's your favorite reverend healer. It's your favorite spiritual dominatrix, LadySpeech, and the place to be. And I want to welcome you back to my channel. See, you could be anywhere in the world. As a matter of fact, you are somewhere in the world, and you're choosing to share a little bit of time and a little bit of space with me. So thank you for that. Now, if you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, if you're feeling any of this, if you're feeling any of me, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you tap that notification bell to keep up with all of my shenanigans and happenings and all that good stuff. Now, we got a good video today. The gift of abandonment. I know that triggered a few of you. I know it triggered me a tiny little bit when I first thought of it. So, let's get into it, shall we? Let's talk about abandonment and my personal abandonment and what inspired this video. So, I recently had the honor and the privilege to hang out with a cousin of mine from my mother's side. Now, this is something that has rarely happened in my life, and most especially in my childhood. Now that we are adults, we have spent a lot more time together. As adults, actually, we've spent more time together, me and this particular cousin, than we ever have when we were children. So recently, we got to have a moment where we got to catch up and just exchange good energy with one another. And she ended up telling me some family secrets that absolutely, number one, rocked my world, but number two, made so many things make sense. And I remember as we were talking, she said the phrase to me. She was very clear. She was like, I am not going to take away from the fact that, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but she was like, I'm not going to take away from the fact that, like, being abandoned by our family hurts, but also you dodged a bullet by not hanging out. You dodged a bullet by them not choosing you. You dodged a bullet with their abandonment. And the more stories she told me, the more family secrets she spilled, I could not do anything but agree more. I remember driving home and thinking to myself, the greatest thing my family ever did was abandon me. I'm not going to deny the wounding that being abandoned at a young age gave to me. I'm not going to deny how much being abandoned sucks. I'm not going to deny the pain I felt every single time I got to see that they were hanging out together, how involved they were in each other's lives, how much that I was actively excluded from them. And I'm at the point in my healing where I know exactly why I was excluded. My mother was the original black sheep in that family. Her choices and decisions angered the holy hell out of her mother and her father. Who she decided to marry in the end and create a child with my father ultimately was something that my grandmother, and my grandfather didn't approve of. And I paid for those decisions. I paid for my family's scapegoating of her and black sheeping of her. I paid for that in full by feeling deep abandonment and by being abandoned by that side of the family. I'm at the point in my healing where I understand why. I do not assign any of that as my fault. And also, I can finally see the full scope of things. In acknowledging the trauma and the pain that came from being abandoned, I'm at a point in my healing where finding out the way so many of my other family members turned out because they were included, baby, I can tell you, one of the best things that my family ever did was abandon me. So let's talk about how sometimes, even though abandonment sucks, how sometimes it's actually a blessing. And I'm going to touch on some points that I have found to be true in my life. The very first gift that abandonment gave to me is the way it forced me to define and develop myself. I wasn't just abandoned physically by my mother's side of the family, but there was a way that I was isolated and emotionally, spiritually, and mentally abandoned within my dad's side of the family. I spent time with both my mother and my father. I spent a short amount of time at the beginning of my life, from about 0 to, I should say, about 6. I think about 6, between 6 and 8. I think it's closer to 8. But I spent that time with my mother, and then 8 on, I think it's closer to 8. 8 on, I spent with my father. So I was able to spend time with both of them. At both of those intervals, I did not have any contact with the other side of the family. So after my mother and my father divorced, I didn't have contact with my dad's side of the family. Well, yeah, I didn't have contact with my dad's side of the family. And then when my mom lost her ever-loving mind and my dad gained custody, I did not have a lot of time with my mother's side of the family. Now, I did have contact with my mother's side of the family through the Jehovah's Witness space. We were Jehovah's Witnesses, they were Jehovah's Witnesses. So a lot of my contact actually came through the big assemblies and the big meetings that we would have. I would see them then. But outside of that, like, it wasn't a lot. They did not invite me. They were not deep in my life. I was not regularly calling them. They did not include me in a lot of family things. They weren't regularly having any contact with me. So that's where a lot of the abandonment comes from. Okay. And also with my mother, like, after she lost custody of me because of drug abuse and because of all of the ways she lived. When I say she lost her mind, she really lost her mind. She was just gone. There were points where I did see her and get to spend time with her, but it wasn't a lot. It was not a lot. So that created some really big abandonment issues. Because of that, and the isolation that I experienced within my dad's family due to the abuse that he was committing against me and the way he triangulated me and isolated me within all of my family, I was forced to develop myself. I was forced to define myself. I was forced to really stand in and figure out who it is that I was. There was no one around me interested enough in me to guide me. There was no one around me interested enough in me to take me under their wing. They were doing the basic things. They were keeping me alive. They were doing my basic needs. But outside of that, there was no one around to really steward me. So the gift that abandonment gave me is that it really forced me into figuring out from an early age who I was. It really forced me to figure out and also define who I was. And I'm absolutely thankful for that. I'm absolutely thankful for that. That began early in my life. And it is because there was no one but me. There was no one but me. I was a child who learned to read at 3, and I was not supervised in a lot of that information that I was taking in. So I ended up getting my hands on a lot of like advanced literature, adult things that did help me to develop myself. But that's that first gift, is that it helped me to develop and define me. Gift number 2, being abandoned forced me to really define and find my tribe, my chosen family. I left my house at 18, but I basically was on my own at 16. I was within the house, but I was responsible for all of my everythings. And so at 18 years old, when I was kicked out of my family and I left the house, I immediately began to form community. I absolutely understood that was going to be important to me, and I started on the quest to form it. Now, within that, I also understood that I wasn't going to be good community. I was not going to be good village member. I was not going to be a good friend. I knew that immediately because of the amount of trauma that I had gone through. So I actively began to heal while I actively started building community around me. There's a lot that I got right. I met so many beautiful people, and it is through the healing that I pursued that I learned a lot of things very quickly. And there's a lot that I got wrong. There's a lot that I got wrong. But because I was genuinely on the quest to build community and have chosen family, I chose people who we were able to grow together. We were able to rock together. We were able to see each other and hold space for each other. And that reflects itself in my everyday life right now. I have a really amazing community and chosen family around me. This doesn't mean that I haven't experienced strife within relationships. It doesn't mean that my abandonment issues has never come up, but I've built a community that can hold me through that and help me as I am healing myself through that as well. So be it forcing me to choose them abandoning me, I decided that I was worthy of family, of friendship, of chosen family, and then I did the work to claim that for myself. So one of the things that the gift of abandonment gave me is a community that is solid around me. I look at some parts of my family and they don't have community within each other, and they don't have community outside of themselves either. Like from some of the stories I heard, the way folks is backstabbing one another, the way folks is stealing from one another, the way folks is just disrespecting one another. These are things that me and my community do not do. The way folks are not accountable for the way that they are doing each other dirty. These are things that my community do not do. So I'm so grateful that I exist in a community where we hold each other accountable, where we call each other in, where we can call each other out, and it's from a place of love, where we aren't abusive to one another. And when our imperfectness shows, we talk about it and we hold space for one another. And yeah, I'm just thankful that I'm not in a space where I'm constantly disrespected. And that's happening to a lot of my family members. When I say abandonment is sometimes a gift, abandonment is sometimes a gift. The next gift that abandonment dropped off in my lap is the ability to accept rejection. Harsh. Harsh, but straight up, no chaser, the ability to accept rejection. Because deep healing, oh my God, the rejection of being abandoned is wild, and it'll drive you to some crazy behaviors. On the flip side, because I have consistently pursued my healing, because I made healing my priority, actually accepting rejection is something that I'm so much better at. I'm not the best at it, but I know what it is to just have to accept that people ain't messing with you, people ain't fucking with you, people ain't with you, people ain't rocking with you. This has helped me as an artist. As you apply for things, as you go out for gigs, as you go out for jobs, you're gonna get rejected. This has helped me in my dating life. There's some people that I've shot my shot at and they've been like, I'm good. And it helped me to understand that I'm still a good person. Again, this coupled with all of the healing that I've done through over the years, but it actually made me better at rejection. If I go for someone, I shoot my shot and they're like, I'm good. Like, okay, I'm still a dope person. I'm still amazing. I still contribute these good things to society. So it doesn't mean that, like, it just means that I'm not for that person. So yeah, in a weird roundabout way, because of and in conjunction with my healing, it has helped me to accept rejection and to be able to move on and move forward past rejection, and also to examine the lesson that particular rejection is handing to me. So that's one of the other gifts that abandonment has given me. The abandonment that I felt, the wounding of abandonment, really was a big motivating factor when it comes to why I chose to prioritize and center healing in my life. I recognize that was one of the first issues that I was very clear that I was going to, if it wasn't addressed, I was going to act in ways that were detrimental to myself and possibly others. I just knew that if I didn't address the abandonment that I felt, that I would be making decisions later on in my life that weren't great for me. I would be choosing people that weren't great for me. That got personified and exemplified in a very real way. The day that I walked out of my family's house and entered into the homeless shelter, and the person I chose to be in a relationship, oh my God, that's a different video. But all of the things that happened because of that, I was so clear. Like, when that situation ended, I was so clear that happened because of my abandonment wound. And I did not want that to happen again. Because I knew it was only going to get worse. And that was really, really bad. And so me being abandoned actually prompted me to heal at a root level. I didn't want to address it at a superficial level. I didn't want to address it at a surface level. I wanted that addressed at the root, because I didn't want to lose my life because I made the wrong decision in someone I wanted to date. And I didn't want to waste my potential because I was chasing improper things. So it really did help me and motivate me to center healing in my life. Being abandoned sucks. We're not going to deny that. We're not going to act like it doesn't leave a deep wounding that needs to be addressed and thoroughly healed. And also, sometimes, every once in a while and every now and again, being abandoned is better than the alternative. Listen, I never should have been treated the way that I was treated by so many of my oppressors, my abusers, my family. I didn't deserve to be abandoned. But when I am let into the vault of family secrets and I am at a space in my healing where I can look at the humanity of my family and understand who they are and how they got where they got, I can say with 1,000% assurity that I am glad that their influence was not strong in my life. I 1,000% believe that I would be in a different space and that space would not be better. That I would be in an even worse mental, physical, emotional, and financial space. I'm so thankful for these gifts I've named in this video. I'm so thankful I have the support that I have. I have a good community around me. I have defined myself. I've made my life. I've made my life. And I have lived a good life. And I'm planning the rest of my life. And it's going to be even more iconic and epic. And this is because I know who I am. I know what I want. I define it for myself. And I have a solid community that cheers me on. I pursue healing. And I have broken so many generational cycles. I'm thankful I was able to define myself, and I have the gifts that I have from such a nasty wound. And again, I want to reiterate, it is the wound and it is the healing of the wound that opened up these gifts. And for that, baby, I am thankful. And in my case, being abandoned was much better than being influenced and raised by the alternative. And that's that on that. And that's that on the gifts that the healing of our wounds can give to us. If you made it to the end of this video, gold star for you. I didn't want to take up all of your time. I just wanted to take up a little bit of your time. So thank you for allowing me to doing that. If you want to keep up with all of my shenanigans and happenings and things and my live readings and workshops and stuff, go ahead and visit me at LadySpeech.com. You can also sign up for a divination then and there. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you so much for being here as I speak my truth and I tell every aspect of my story. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, if you're feeling any of this, if you're feeling any of me, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you can keep up with everything I'm doing over here, baby, because we got a lot going on. Now, just in case no one has told you today, you are so very wonderful and you are so very divine. Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving here. Thank you for hoping here. And thank you for your support. I appreciate you. God, Goddess, Lowa, Orisha, all of my ancestors and spiritual team willing, I'm going to see you in the next video. I love you. I live you. Thank you. Peace.